My name is Rhapsody. Welcome back to Monster Train 2. It's random. Ooh. Random has gifted to us the Exiled Melting Remnant, as well as the Allied Clan of Pyreborn, and then the Pyreheart Savage. The Pyreheart Pyre of Savagery. Friendly units gain on Slay, gain +1 damage permanently. 2 copies of Molten Encasement in the base deck. On Extinguish, apply Stealth 2 to friendly units. 2 copies of Snotty Whelp as well, with the ability of Gelly Sneeze every 2 turns. They can deal 1 damage to the front enemy unit and also apply 12 Pyre and then 1 Paraffin Enforcer rather. 1 Ember, double size, strike, apply Rage 3 to friendly burnout units. Little Fade, okay. I see how I could use my Paraffin Enforcer line. Friendly units gain on Slay, gain +1 damage permanently. I mean, I also kind of like the idea of going for the Slay spikes and damage. Little Fade. It's just, it would be a lot harder to support that. Yeah, Little Icarus is the line I was talking about. On Slay, gain +2 damage and +2 spikes permanently, and it starts with 5 spikes. So you put this in the front line, you let it die, you reform it, you let it die, you let it reform it, you let it die. You keep going like that. I don't think I want that. However, if I were to take Eternal Flame, this one doesn't gain burnout, so I'm pretty much ignoring the value of Paraffin Enforcer entirely if I don't get the Firelight line, which is when Little Fade dies on Extinguish, apply +5/+5 and burnout 2 to friendly units. So you want the Endless line from Eternal Flame, and you also want Firefly, but I can't guarantee I'll get offered that. I could take this, and then in the next area it could offer me Little Icarus again, and then I could get to the third area and be offered Little Icarus again, and then suddenly I'm an Eternal Flame build that was planning entirely around becoming a Firefly, but I can't do it. So if I can't rely on the consistency of that, and I'm going to have to build burnout consistency into the deck, or rather build around Paraffin Enforcer if that happens to be the case. Anyway, why not just take Little Icarus? Clan card drops only offer rares. You know what? This is really bad. This is awful. This is absolutely awful to take. In this clan combination, the rares from these clans. Anyway, I'm gonna do it. Can't wait for that to kill the run. If the thumbnail is a completely different clan combination than the 2 people that I'm playing at the moment, well, look, there might be a reason. But also, what if it's a double bluff up there? What if it is completely different, but I'm specifically using that to bluff you right now? You'll never know if you don't persist. Little Fade on the top line, Paraffin Enforcer, as well as a Spear Steward up there would be really good. I'm just trying to get as many of these units to die to Little Fade as is possible. And then I have to reform Little Fade next turn to come back with additional health. Thank you. It's pretty important Little Fade is the only card of mine that dies, because otherwise I can't constantly get it back with the additional health here. If I put Snotty Whelp on the field, it will kill a Forsaken, and then it will also strike. Okay, cool. So it has the ability to take down 2 units, giving us the ability to access the Collector in the backline. Ooh, boy. This one is unfortunate. I'm going to just play out Vengeful Shard. I don't want to reveal another Spear Steward to the bottom line, if I can avoid it. It's really important I keep my Reformation pool very light, because... yeah, exactly. We could end up in situations like this where I'm pulling back a Shield Steward, and I desperately need not to have that right there. I'm going to take 6 damage off the top line. I'm not going to play this Shield Steward. Oh my god, please. You're getting exactly the wrong minions, friend. There's a reasonable argument to make to say just throw Molten Encasement on the top line in order to save a bunch of HP on the Paraffin Enforcer. I will start working on those Forsaken as well. See if I can get some Fire Gel stacked up on the boss. Thank you. Okay, so Little Fade on the top line literally kills all of them, but then unfortunately survives, which is actually really bad for us in this instance. I'm going to hit another Primitive Mold, pulling back another unit, which I'm not going to be playing. And I'll get Pyre Gel on the boss. So we'll take another 3 to the dome from Forsaken. Gelly Sneeze is going to be available to hit the boss with 12 Pyre Gel in the next turn, and will also, if I get any Reform card, I will specifically get, there we go, Little Fade back, who now has 3 Burnout and all of that size. There we go. Damn it! Oh, the sleigh was on the, well, at the end. Rude. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's, yeah, yeah. Well, Hallowed Halls is really good. Kill friendly units and then reform random units on this floor until it exceeds its capacity. The main problem with it is that it is going to prevent us from being able to put Little Fade in the right position consistently. And I'm going to want them to slay constantly. There's also Intent on Death, Consume, trigger a unit's ability, extinguish ability, that is, without killing it. That's going to be very important because I imagine I'm probably going to get clan card drafts only offer rares. Oh, it's only card drafts, it's not banner units. Okay, so I'm not going to get Legion of Wax necessarily. Wickless Recruitment, remove all burnout and debuff effects from a unit. I mean, removing all burnout and debuff effects from a unit is always nice to have in the deck, but like, you can build around Hallowed Halls, except for the fact that I need Little Fade to be consistently reformed in the right way. I'm gonna have to take Intent on Death in a speculative manner. That was. Ooh, this is unfortunate. Devilish Details is here. 1 Ember Consume. Gain 3 Dragon Horde. Your Pyre takes 10 damage. I love gaining Dragon Horde. Only problem? Pyre of Savagery is one of the least healthy, least sturdy, least durable, lowest health Pyres. And it's already on 27. That would be pretty hard to play. I would need to start finding ways to heal my Pyre quite consistently. Hell Furnace, when you gains Pyre Gel, it gains 3 additional stacks. Death Roll, transfer all Pyre Gel to a specific unit and then deal 5 damage 5 times. I kind of want to take that and then just see if I can work with it. Merchant of Steel Remnant Banner, Merchant of Steel Remnant Banner. Yeah, so if I wanted to support a burnout floor, the main problem is finding a way to consistently get burnout on units, and if Little Fade is not the Firelight Path, and I can't guarantee that she's going to ever hit it later, getting the additional burnout on units is a matter of reforming them, or getting Lady of the Reform to stand in front of them and trigger her Revenge, which gives friendly burnout units burnout. Especially because clan cards can't offer me a lot of the cards that would give burnout to a unit. I'm struggling with this at the moment because Paraffin Enforcer really feels like it requires a lot of common and uncommon cards from Melting Remnant to pop off. And I don't have those. I won't have those. Piebon Banner payoff would be pretty good. Heal for each Dragon Horde, 2 health for each Dragon Horde. So it just pays for the Devilish Details I didn't take, never mind. This is difficult. I kind of want to go to Pyreborn and Intent on Death. I would love if I could, like, give Spell Chain and Consume Removal to Intent on Death, and then get Goldtooth? The one that dies in order to give you 1 Dragon Sword. Extinguish, gain 1 Dragon Sword from Pyreborn. That would be incredible. I don't know. This is not good. I'm going to go for the diversity, which is making sure that I hit a Merchant of Magic and a Merchant of Steel in the opening, so that's just going to decide my path for me. Consume removal and holdover. Okay, so if I really want to, I can trigger Extinguish constantly. Damn it. I was really hoping it would give me the busted one. Magma Cultists, 2 Ember, 1 Size. On Incant, apply Pyogel 1 to enemy units. It's certainly not bad. It's fine. It's a way to gain additional Pyogel. But, Magma Mauler, if I just put you on the bottom line and get you health, anyone defending you, even chump blockers, you stack so much Pyogel on an enemy. And then, if that boss ascends through the floors, I just hit him with Death Roar. It doesn't have to transfer any Pyogel for it to still do 5 damage 5 times, which will be enhanced by all the Pyogel you've added. It's pretty good. I think the realistic answer here is take Magma Mauler. Consume removal intent on death is very important. I think giving it holdover... I mean, that gives me the ability to perma-stealth a floor, for instance. Like, our bottom floor could literally just be Magma Mauler, Molten Encasement, and then I just keep hitting that Molten Encasement with the intent on death. That line will literally win boss fights forever, for ages, for us. -1 costing the Death Roar doesn't concern me badly. I mean, all the primitive molds, I could make all of them 0 cost and I'd be pretty happy about it. Because they will be quite consistently played, whereas there will be a lot of hands where I draw Death Roll that I don't even want to play it. Heading into battle. 75 additional gold if I promise not to draw 5 cards a turn. I think I'm going to try and do that on the bottom line. I think I'm literally just going to use the health of the Paraffin Enforcer to help defend the Magma Mauler while I try and set that up. I'm not going to do that on the bottom line. I'll give Little Fade a space to be reformed consistently. So you, and I don't want chumps. Shield Steward, you can go on the top line just so that I have someone to attack a Collector if it gets up there. Oh. They're hasting past this floor. What do I do about that? Do I just kill the haste unit every round, or should I reform? Like, Lil Fade is going to want to be on the bottom line. But Paraffin and Magma Mauler should probably be on the very top. I've been threatening to for a while, but I've actually got to write a cheat sheet for myself of like, here's the grave errors in each enemy fight. Like, does this fight have amalgams? Does this fight have sweep from an enemy? Does this fight have silence? Does this fight... Just the typical things that need to be dealt with, because sometimes they are wholly transformative like that. And it's difficult to remember absolutely all of them. I struggle to consistently remember the 3 different threats in the 3 different Seraph fights. Alright, let's form this appropriately. I think Magma Mauler can go in front on that top line. It's not going to be revealed to real damage for quite a while, and it's going to want another unit to deal damage after it. With the increased Pyogel. welcome back by a primitive mold. Oh, there's the intent on death ready. Primitive mold, bring back Little Fade, unfortunately, who does not kill on any line at this point. Whoa. Oh man, they do a lot of damage. I'm going to take another 10 damage after this, unfortunately. I think Paraffin Enforcer up on top is nice, but being able to replay Lil Fade up there would have been much more important. I don't think this fight went well for me at all. This midline's even completely blocked, so I'm not even going to be able to play additional units there. I mean, I will win the fight, and it'll be easy, but I've lost a lot of health, and that's unfortunate. The winning the fight and it'll be easy is just because we've got enough stealth on that top line. Like, I told you this is going to be a thing that beats bosses. It's struggling to beat other things at the moment. Bosses, less of a problem. Alright, never mind. The amount of spikes that Legion has means we actually will still lose to this. Yeah. I killed the enemy at the same time as I died to its spikes on the top line. It's okay. We're playing Umbra Lazarus League. Hell yes. Pyre of Dominion. All right. How could you be sad? That was just a long loading screen for this run, you see. Remove Terrain Stewards and starting cards. 2 copies of Prismal Dust in the base deck. X cost consume. Apply 1x damage shield. Seraph choose an entropy. So we're going to have to deal with Silence. Shadow Eater, unfortunately. Very good at dealing with enemy units, but not when you are silenced. 2 Ember with 3 Sighs. On Gorge, restore 10 health and deal 20 damage to enemy units. I love running this. It's just a clear line on the bottom floor. Sanguine Assistant, 1 Ember, 1 Sighs. Graft, Vampire's Tooth, a piece of equipment that gives lifesteal. And 15 additional damage. Also Pyre of Dominion, so we can be completely ignoring Train Stewards and base cards in the deck and taking additional things instead. Oh. Can I get 2 copies of Beast? Managing to trigger Shadow Eater in the middle of a turn would be incredible. However, I would also then need to rely on getting enough morsels to trigger it consistently, and it's currently Grovel is being offered to me, which I could take as my morsel generation, which gives me uncommon rare morsels. I think I start there. Faulty Body. 1 Ember, consume, apply Fragile, and spikes 40 to a friendly unit. I love Faulty Body. How are you not gilded? I guess I must have won with you in a dimensional portal? Oh, that's amazing to me. I'd have to, just like stack a bunch of damage shields on the right unit, but it would need a lot of damage shields. I would need a very good way to continually support its damage shield, which is a bit tough. 2 copies of Mixology for mixing twice in the base deck as well. Pretty expensive spells, but very impactful. And Acid Shower. 1 Ember, apply Unstable 10 and damage, deal 1 damage to enemy units. If I can give literally just a plus 10 to both of these, it gives me the ability to clear the bottom line silence units very easily, as well as do AoE damage at the same time. So it kills the silence units, and then it also kills the Shattered Shards, I think they're called. The 12 damage, 1 health units as well, I think. I think it's between Mixology and Acid Shower. Acid Shower gives me some range which, like, Shadow Eater is here to give me that, but Shadow Eater is not especially consistent yet. Acid Shower is not especially consistent yet either, but having more copies could be good. I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I'm leaning towards Mixology. Yeah. Morsel Maker. Do I want 2 copies of Morsel Maker? 2 Ember 1 size, on resolve, summon an Umbra and Magma Morsel. So that's just 2 floors managing their own usage of morsels. Or 2 copies of Morsel Master. To be fair, the 2 Ember cost of the Morsel Maker is pretty tough, especially considering Shadow Eater itself has 2 costs, so I'd have to play 1 Shadow Eater, 1 Morsel Maker, and Penumbra, basically, are my only 3 starting cards. That's not that bad, actually. 2 copies of Morsel Master would be Shadow Eater, a Morsel Master behind Shadow Eater, and then it only gets to dupe 1 Morsel. I'm gonna take Morsel Maker. Hes Subject Alpha is pretty good. We're getting a lot... actually, no, I didn't necessarily take the previous AoE option. I didn't take the Acid Shower. Makeshift Golem just being a good frontline unit that's very easily supported by Mixology is nice. I have so many expensive minions in my deck at the moment, I don't think I can really support that. Okay, so Hersal Sword, we need more setup Ember. I think I'm going to look at my champion first. Yeah, I was worried about this. I kind of wanted to get the Gorge line, just because I have the ability to very easily give Gorge. So I could take the Monstrous line for Trample. I can use Grovel, Prismal Dust, even Mixology in order to support damage shield for the Penumbra. As well as it gets just, you know, +9/+9 a turn from the Morsel Maker gorging for it. And it has space for it. Alternatively, I could take Architect, which would add an additional 2 capacity to its own floor, which is a little harder to do, because I don't want to play additional things on Penumbra's floor, not necessarily at least. Monstrous would very much happily take the lifesteal equipment from the Sanguine Assistant consistently. I just didn't want to click the Monstrous line again. Are you kidding me? What did I just ask for? More Deployment Ember. This is literally the relic that does that. Thank you, game. It's very kind of you. I might have made some different decisions if I had have known that that was coming up. We'll still be fine. Have a look at this. Shadow Eater. Morsel Maker. Morsel Maker? Okay, so you summon 4 morsels on the bottom line. Sick. That's gonna be sick. That's, yeah, yep. No, I'm doing that instead. This seems more fun. So unfortunately here on turn 1, it doesn't accomplish anything, which is really sad. I'm going to start Mixology. Rage, damage shields. Okay. So at the end of this turn, we will do 48. Oh, no, we won't, because these Magma Morsels are hitting the Carrying Sigathon. Ooh, I'm actually going to give the Rage and Damage Shield there. So I'll still die, but I'll get to project the damage through to the Collector on the back line. How dare you have spikes in the front. Really annoying. Now the damage is less impressive. Drop the mantle shard. So now we get to do 40, sorry, not 40, 80 damage to all enemy units just from the Shadow Eater gorging. Seems pretty good. Vampire Tooth up there. You start resolving for additional lifesteal. Let's get you a chump blocker as well. Oh, looks like the bottom line is going to kill him. Seems pretty good to me. I want to let that happen then. That's not going to be the right thing to do in every fight, but it'll be the right thing to do in some of them. Immortal Trade I don't think I need. Often this does find its way into a monstrous build. Just a very efficient way to keep supporting that monstrous, but I already have so much lifesteal production. Perils of Production, I'm almost always going to have a good target for this, courtesy of morsels. And I do want additional energy. Forevermore Serum consumed to apply Reanimate 1. I do like Potion Kit just for additional mixing, but... Explosive Reaction, apply Unstable 25 and deal 5 damage. This is not necessarily good reach, because it's quite expensive and it still doesn't kill the enemy I'm most concerned with of a Silence Hymnist in the back line. Hymnist has 8 health, so this will kill it at the end of round, but it needs to kill it before that. The fact that this is high cost means that I would have to be upgrading it to both lower its cost as well as to increase its damage, which it's not going to happen. You can brew potions with not only unstable, but frostbite and just direct damage on them. So I could possibly brew potions as a way to kill that unit. Forevermore Serum, consume, Reanimate 1. Admittedly, just having the ability to apply Reanimate 1 to a unit is really good. That's often what you're using the potions for. Okay, so Variety here would ask me to head towards Merchant of Steel Umbra banner. Is that a tough ask? If it gives me a Morsel Master, I just put the Morsel Master Morsel Maker behind Shadow Eater and then the other Morsel Maker behind Penumbra. That's not bad. Our spells are really good, all of them with love upgrades. What's going to be my first problem? Like, Shadow Eater does huge AoE damage, quite consistently. Does it after the enemies, though, so Silence could be a problem, Corruption could be a problem. Corruption won't be a problem given the amount of health you can give yourself. You're just going to need Titanite, just some sort of big defensive defense. What do they call them? Runestone upgrade. Just upgrade. We're very good at projecting damage. We're not good at high damage on a single target. I mean, for this stage of the game, we are. But, like, at length, not especially. Until we give, like, multi-strike to Penumbra in some way. These makeshift golems, realistically, I don't necessarily want to play them at the start of the fight. They want to be there to defend someone who's extremely powerful, but extremely brittle. Is that more likely to be an Umbra unit or a Lazarus League unit? I suspect the answer is Lazarus League, but I do want to go to Umbra, because one of the very first problems we're going to have is keeping the Shadow Eater alive. Literally Titanite. That'll do it. There's the Morsel Master I was talking about. This is wacky. Great unit with Endless. Or 14 additional damage. I mean, I could throw Endless on a makeshift golem. I can't think of an especially good reason to do it. I'm going to hold my money. I'm going to keep my powder dry on this one. We're so far above power curve that I really don't need the additional power offered here right now. Granted, Morsel Master is almost never going to get an upgrade, and giving it 14 additional damage is totally worth it. Negative 1 energy per turn. What am I going to do? Shadow Eater. Morsel Master, and then a Morsel Maker. I'm one ember down from being able to play the Morsel Maker behind Penumbra. Alas. How poorly we are dealt this hand. Oh no, we're gonna lose! Us losing just isn't a reality for a couple of rounds. Fire of Dominion has kind of confirmed that for us. That's rude. Don't do anything about that collector. I can do one groveling. Ooh, double morsel excavator. You can get played in the two positions you can get played. Yeah, I'm not able to get over the health of the Sloven Knight with that. In fact, I'm gonna have difficulty getting over the health of the Sloven Knight with anything right now. Except the bottom line, which now does 80 damage per. Hey, there we go. Penumbra's got enough to go over the top of it. Let's get some morsels helping out that top line now. Oh, it'd be nice. I would have been able to play both of the calcified embers over the course of the last 2 turns. But I'll take my 75 gold instead. Especially because I can just play those calcified embers later. Get him. We really don't need more morsels. All of the morsels I can really generate are already in my deck. It would be daft of me to take more at this point. I'm just going to take the ability to gain additional energy off of them. Overwhelmed Assistant. Reanimate 1 on incant, gain unstable 4. The problem with this guy is you are really good. I'll tell you that first and foremost and up front. You are incredible. But you're literally doing exactly the same job as a lot of my other minions. You are projecting damage in sweep. Sure, I could eventually get you so busted that you're, killing 500 health units, but same can be said for everyone else. It's alive! One ability would advance a unit and apply lifesteal 1 and 10 additional damage. I think that's a great way for me to just pump the Penumbra appropriately with a spell. I will admit there is some value in Merchant of Arms because a flaw that cared about, like, enemies dying or an equipment that cares about multi-strike, or something that has a slay trigger and could go on Shadow Eater, or even just Shield of Wing can't be in this clan combination. That's devoted. All of those would be really good. Unfortunately, our spells could also be really huge. And the Lazarus League is really where I would be looking to try and find something to really develop on the midline alongside these makeshift golems. You hold over a perils of production, and now our energy problems are completely solved. Heal your pyre equal to the spell's cost. I think I could easily throw that on a Prismal Dust. Also, -2 cost and consume? I think a grovel would hold that especially well. I don't think I want both of them. Before we do that, though, let's look at our Las League unit. Oh, sick. Meat Hook. Cooldown 2, advance a unit, and then apply days 1 to them. That's just, it's just a good unit, and that's just a good ability. Is it gonna do a bunch? Probably not. Is it gonna do enough? Yeah. Yeah, we'll be fine. Alright, Celestial Alcove. Oh, damn. Oh, you're you butt. You're literally not offering me the thing that you need to offer me. There's a fourth option here, and it's not being given to me. The fourth option would have been on the first floor, install Boiler Room, which would have been so much energy for me that I would have never needed additional energy. Between Perils of Production Holdover and Boiler Room on the bottom floor, I would be... And Artificial Firestone. I'm flush with so much energy. Sadly, I didn't get that. Fight Club mod, at the start of battle, apply Fight Club on the third floor. That would give it to Penumbra, as well as the Morsel Maker standing behind Penumbra, as well as the morsels that come out of that Morsel Maker. Like, it's not nothing. Spell Sanctum on the second floor, spells cost -1 there. I mean, it's a fun floor to play Mixologies. And Forevermore, I guess. And Hef's Hammer. 1 Ember for a 20 damage piece of equipment that gives Onslay +1 capacity to this floor. The reason I don't super care about that is because Penumbra is already avoiding the capacity, like overstacking via the Resolve of the Morsel Maker, and so is the Shadow Eater on the bottom line. And the Shadow Eater also gets to the max unit capacity of 7, so it doesn't even help it there, despite the fact, obviously, that would be a good slaying unit. I think it's just going to be Spell Sanctum so that I can try and scam some additional spells out. Not thrilled about that, frankly. It's similar to Boiler Room in that it effectively is additional energy, but it's different in that it's worse. Alright, let's get the full setup going. Oh yeah, you move units to the back. Alright, I'm gonna slightly modify my setup on the top line so that you're pushing a Morsel Master behind the Penumbra. And then the bottom line still needs to maintain position. Oh, cool. I can even grovel it. Keep you healthy. Play a Vengeful Shard or play out both Sanguines. I can't play out both Sanguines. I literally don't have the space. Alright, bottom line is now taken care of. Bottom line is no longer taken care of. How dare you push it? How dare you push my unit to the back of the line? I have It's Alive coming up soon, so I'll be able to push the Shadow Eater back forward. Let's get regen to see if I can follow it up with spikes. I'll take reanimate though. I think I can blade that Prismal Dust for bigger effects, so. I'll hold. Very much hoping to draw my advance this turn. Dang. Oh, not only did I not draw the advance this turn, I drew too many, both the Calcified Embers in the same hand, and I can't play them both in the same hand. You butt. You absolute butt. Wait, hang on. Does that give 3 energy? This card's so busted. I totally forgot that it gave 3 energy on account of how the hell did they... 3 energy! I mean, I'm grateful for it, but damn. It's alive! Meat, hook, hand, door, man, door, car, door, heat, hook. Get him. And then Forevermore Serum, keep that one alive. This is all going grand. There's not that many enemies that displace your units. It's pretty much just Archeon, so I'm okay here. I'm gonna drop a giant Prismal Dust here for 7 Prismal Dust. 7 damage shield, rather, as well as 7 Pyre health. So rude of you to reorganize our bottom line like this, but it's not gonna change too much. Not use any action or resolve abilities, right? So that doesn't change anything. I'm not gonna say this is how the units thought they were gonna be used, but it'll do. Ooh, sap him. Double sap him. That'll do. Shroud Spike? Spike of the League and Combustion Suit. Damn. Combustion Suit on strike, apply unstable 5 to enemy units. That only really matters if I do it on the bottom floor and I do it before the explosions happen. So like, that would be, you put that on Morsel Maker and then you give Morsel Maker multi-strike as well so that you can utilize it twice. It's not bad. It's like, think of it this way. At worst, this is a 1 Ember 10/10 piece of equipment. That's huge. Is it better than Spike of the League or Shroud Spike? That's a tougher argument to make, I think. Shroud Spike's the ability to just, I mean, immediately eat a bunch of a thing. I have a lot of energy, so X costs are even more important. Spike of the League doesn't really have a direction at the moment. Like, yeah, Reanimate's nice, but like, what, I'm putting it on the makeshift golem so that the hook hand survives longer? That's not really a combat line. Hulking mass. So if I am gonna continue the Penumbra line, and I want to continue my Morsel Maker, I'm gonna need additional capacity. I think I probably go additional capacity, additional draw in this run. The capacity for the bottom line is kind of hilarious. It's not useful. For the mid line, it gives me the ability to develop both makeshift golems and a meat hook. For the top line, it gives me the ability to extend the Penumbra monstrous line until its logical conclusion. Also, it gives me the ability to develop hulking mass on the mid line if I really need additional defenders there. Hulking mass with like, I have such high hopes for this card as just like an incredible defensive unit that you put reanimated stacks onto it and it returns incredible dividend. At the same time, do I need it? My Shadow Eater has Titanite and full heals. I've got these makeshift golems. I've got so much Divine Shield that I'm lousy with it. Who's the hulking mass for? Another argument is that I could get a second meat hook. I could just throw 2 meat hooks behind a makeshift golem on the middle line and then run that instead. Or money. Money's obviously an option as well. But with this much artificial Firestone, I really think that setting up as many minions as I can at the very start is a really good idea. I'm going to take meat hook, and I'm going to take capacity so that I can extend my boy. Extend him! Extend! Yeah, I know you could get the additional gorges each turn, but what if instead of you taking, what is it, difference is 75, so just under 19 stacks? I'll prevent you from having to eat 19 of them by just making you larger instead. Apply damage shield 2 to the first friendly unit summoned each turn. I like that. I do like that. Gives you the ability to chump block a lot. Versatile Ember Staff is also quite nice, but can't take both. Take Chain of Gems. Oh. Oh. Dominating Power is absurd. Oh, sorry. We've got the Dominion upgrades here. So Dominating Power, Authority, and Control. Dominating Power gives 10 additional damage and on strike, apply Corruption 20 to an enemy unit. There's also Ask for Authority. Summon, spawn a random friendly unit from your deck. Cool. And then Ask for Control. Dominating Control adds melee weakness 1 and spell weakness 1 on strike. Granted, the next strike takes that melee weakness away and adds a new melee weakness, so that's less powerful unless I have dualism or it's a very high damage unit that's holding it. Strike for Corruption, though. I'm almost certain that the Gorge ability of Shadow Eater does not count as a strike. I'm almost certain of that. I'm not 100% certain of that. I'm not willing to take this on the off chance, though. Obviously, someone's going to wield it. Let me be clear about that. That's happening. It's just how it happens. I will say, if I do have like a big makeshift golem reanimate midline and just a meat hook behind them has corruption, that's also really good for just stacking up damage on a boss. I think that's how I'm going to go about this. Get him, Hook Hand. It's also worth noting, actually, Hook Hand with dualism would double the dazed and also this corruption application. So now I have a dualism trigger to look out for. Merchant of Steel, here I come! Enemy units can have Titan Skin Fall, that's fine. I do a lot more damage than that. I do think the damage shield goes on Shadow Eater first. Actually, it's probably much more relevant on Umbra, who might not be able to support their own health by the time that... Well, but 60 health. Cute butt. I'm gonna have to play this Spirals of Production, but it is gonna actually have a cost for me here, which is hilarious. It's gonna give me Ember Drain because I got it on the first turn, so I don't have any morsels to play with it. I really wish I could get a morsel miner as summoned on the first turn, because that would immediately set up the Shadow Eater to start eating and also give me a good target for it. Okay. So now I have a target for Perils of Production safely. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Fallen Executioner is very healthy. Thankfully, this next line is actually starting to do damage to them. Let's advance you, deal damage. Keep the Grov up. Yeah. I think I will just get the... Oh, no, I won't even. I was about to say, I think I'll just get the Sanguine Assistant immediately killed here. Unfortunately, she summoned with a bunch of damage shield, which I forgot about immediately. I already talked about how powerful it is for jump blocking, and then as soon as I used it to jump block, I was like, oh, no, it's too powerful. You butt. I'm gonna try and use Mixology to... Oh, gotta get the Minion's Eye out of hand, unfortunately. I'm gonna try and use Mixology to fish for the ability to kill that backline. Ugh. That's not gonna do it. No, I don't even have the ability to, unfortunately. I'll take Rage then. Goodbye, Collector. I wish I had gotten you. Give me my Mandor hand hook Cardor. That's meat hook number one, but I'm looking for the other one. There we go. Finally, a Sanguine Assistant revealed to death. I'm gonna Super Prismal Dust again. Just making this line completely impenetrable for a boss. Thank you for the additional healing to our Pyre as well. Get a meat hand. And let's have you add additional damage shield twice. Unfortunately, can't really play Grovel. I have no space for all of my units. And this is even after taking capacity. I mean, bottom line already wins. Let's Shroud Spike. Just to kill all of them before the start of the fight. And then you can have some more rage. Get him, buddy! They don't even get to come up to this line. We're not especially good at dealing with two 500s. That's a problem for us still at this point. I'm gonna need more. Granted, if I keep my Pyre healthy enough, I can just kind of let him go to the top and that would be fine. Engine upgrade's actually really good for us. 1 Ember, consume -1 size on this floor, plus 1 Ember for the rest of the battle. Per turn, that is. I can play that on the bottom line easily, without a problem. And the additional energy is often useful for me because I do have X costs in the deck. Acid Shower is back. Surgical Strike is here as well. 1 Ember to, on Piercing, deal 4 damage. And on Slay, add a copy of this card with Ephemeral to your hand. And then finally, Brain Transfer. 2 Ember Sacrifice. Transfer damage and all buff and debuff effects to front friendly unit. So it's not like the abilities, it's buff and debuffs. So like if the Meat Hook had 2 rage and 1 dazed, killing it with Brain Transfer would give 2 rage and 1 dazed to the front friendly unit. So like what unit has so many good buffs on it that it wants to contribute it? I mean, Sanguine Assistant does get a bunch of lifesteal and also can summon with 2 damage shield, and I can pass that forward, but like, that's still a pretty minimal, like, benefit out of Brain Transfer. It's not bad, I will say that, it's not bad. The ability to just play a Sanguine Assistant and then immediately pop it for 15 additional damage, as well as 2 damage shields, as well as lifesteal on Penumbra, not bad. I suspect over the course of this run, I'm probably capable of finding a better way to use this. I'm gonna find that. I've been asking for a Merchant of Steel for a while. Am I gutsy enough to look it in the eye and turn around and walk away? Merchant of Magic is offering not super relevant, not super relevant, not super relevant. I mean, sure, I can get powerful upgrades on all of these, but they need to be very relevant. And they simply aren't. Okay, we get our multi-strike. That gives me, oh my god, Meat Hook. Well, yeah, I either want multi-strike or I want dualism on you, and multi-strike is just dualism by another name in this instance for us. I'm going to give Rianamate to one of the makeshift golems. I'm going to give another 14 damage to the Morsel Master. Get him. Quick and plus 10. That's fine. Reroll. What am I fishing for on reroll? If I get dazed, I guess I would put it on the other Meat Hook. If I got Mini Stone, would I put that on Shadow Eater? Honestly, probably not. I think I'm pretty happy with what I got there. Oh, should have checked the last league banner first, obviously. Plague Doctor, 2 Ember, 1 size, strike, apply unstable, equal to the damage dealt. Plague Doctor just, if I threw you on that midline and you had the quick buff, it's fine. I might as well. There's nothing wrong with doing that, and if I find a good way to give you more damage, it suddenly becomes really good. Friendly units get 12 damage, deal 1 damage to friendly units each turn. That will kill all of my morsels, I think? It will ruin all of my damage shields? That's awful for us. Start of the turn, apply daze 1 to the front enemy unit on a random floor. I mean, I think I might just go with Nim's Oath here. Something I haven't taken before. So it'll be a new artifact to win with. But also, I can now daze a lot of things. Non-boss enemy units gain a multi-strike. Do I look like I care? Do I? Oh, sorry, I made a mistake in my presentation then. I, couldn't care less. This is in fact going to be completely fine for us. I do want to get Plague Doctor on the mid line. I am going to need to prepare for enemies on this mid line. Okay, fine. I'm going to have to get my meat hook in the makeshift gold out. I can't afford to skip past that. Again, barrels of production in the opening end. How dare you, but okay. I don't need to play the second one. It's alive! I think 10 additional damage for our top liner is a good idea, and I'm also going to take the effort to throw a bunch of damage shield on the makeshift golem. Thankfully, we have Plague Doctor, who is going to help by giving us some unstable damage on all of these enemies here. Right. Barrels of production hits the bottom line. I want a Shroud Spike in anticipation. And I do like doing that. Meat Hook. You can daze an enemy and advance them. Dazing Rabbit and Zealot does save 3 of the damage shields, which is nice. I might as well do it. Great damage on that bottom line. And it'll buy us some refuge for a couple of turns. Damn it. I was really hoping I would get reanimate this hand so that I could put reanimate on the collector and just kill it multiple times. Alas. I mean, I can daze you again and pull you forward. It's not going to do anything, though. This Blast Infusion is really good at removing a minion. I could have used it to remove those minions on the top line before they managed to strike. Not really relevant to me. Let's drop a Prismal Dust. Okay, so despite the fact that it cost for 6 there, it only gave me 5 health. Fine. Still a lot of health. I feel like this is one of those runs where I'm going to get like a couple of lines into the future and then go, obviously this mistake was made earlier. Like, obviously I wasn't going to have the ability to deal with 2 500/500s. That's what I'm feeling at the moment. And look, an Umbra's kind of not... I'm going to need to get multi-strike on that bad boy in order to do that. Furnace Tap could immediately solve all of my problems if it would care to show up. But of course I can't rely on that. Get him, Meat Hook. Hook him. Alright, then we'll just watch him die on the bottom line. They're basically just dying to a Titanite unit. That's really what's happening there on the bottom line. Our frontline unit is only taking 10 damage per hit, and they don't live long enough to get through that. Rest and Retrieval is pretty good. I have Plague Doctor, 2 Sanguine Assistants that probably end up getting removed from this deck. Let's be real. Makeshift Golem, Meat Hooks. I got cards that I want to draw. Grovel obviously can't be used. I can't even play all the Grovels I have. Beasts. I could theoretically use that, but it just frees up space to then do what? Play more morsels? Interesting. So the choice here is either Mixology so that I can continue going heavy on a mix strat and try and just make our midline indestructible, which is good against bosses, but bad against units just passing my line by. Or I can take Replicate Array. I can give any equipment to the Penumbra, and then I can dupe the Penumbra. Remove equipment from friendly unit and copy the unit. Double monstrous Penumbra on the top line to me sounds like that's basically multi-strike. Merchant of Arms. Admittedly, there are certainly rooms that I would like on the bottom line. There are certainly pieces of equipment that I would like. There's a lot of trinkets I would like as well, to be fair. In terms of removing cards from the deck, Grovel with a cost is probably never really getting played. The other makeshift Golem doesn't really have space in the deck anymore either. One of the Sanguine Assistants is pretty hard to play as well. There's a Merchant of Arms in the next area, but Merchant of Magic with an Empyrean Well next to it is almost certainly going to win out over that. Upgrades to the Replicate Array and possibly even Consume removal, possibly even duping this, would be much more important. I feel more and more like it's not appropriate for the top line to have a Morsel Maker. Like, the Morsel Maker up there is fine. It's 9/9 worth of stats to Penumbra a turn, which realistically doesn't contribute that much compared to what Penumbra already is. And at some point, you summon 2 morsels on the top floor, so you're 3 units on the top floor, Penumbra is a 4th. I can summon 3 more Penumbras and I'll be fine. Okay, never mind, I'm fine. I was going to make the argument that it was going to ultimately end up blocking some of our Replicate Array plays, but I would have to dupe it 2 more times or make it Consume remove for it to really become a problem. So what? I'm just confirming that I get no Merchant of Trinkets until the very end? There's no more Merchants of Steel for me. That's just not happening. Right. Right. So if I'm not going to Merchant of Steel in the final area, I can go to Merchant of Magic in the final area. If I'm not going to the Merchant of Magic here, I miss out on the Empyrean Well, but I can take a Merchant of Arms. But it's next to a Pyromanes, which means nothing to me. In fact, that's also true of this Merchant of Magic. Merchant of Trinkets, rather. All right, Merchant of Arms, thrill me. Organ Harvester. On Slay, gain 1 Reanimate. I will say Combustion Suit as well for our multi-strike unit on the second line. Totally appropriate. Just a good piece of equipment to have for that meat hook. Fight Club grants friendly units plus 15 damage. Throwing that on the bottom line, admittedly, is a lot, because it's every morsel doing 15 additional damage as well. So that's 7 units that I have on the bottom line. 7 by 15 is presumably maths, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to click the button. I'm also going to take a Combustion Suit. Organ Harvester, Slay, gain, Reanimate 1. Not bad, but who's really both slaying and wants to reanimate? Like, yeah, Penumbra, but I've got other equipment. I think first is reroll here. Overgrowth Catapus. Intradasting. No one that I know is mini-stoned. I can't do that. Stoic Plate Mail, Silence. I don't want to do that. Alright, unfortunately the reroll there was kind of butts. Upgrade something to be in the opening hand. I do think Fight Club being deployable is pretty sick. My energy in the opening hand is really contested, but it's only really contested if I summon the Morsel Maker. I don't think I need the second Morsel Maker anymore. Actually, I've got some decent money at this point. I'll take a couple more removals. Let's get the Grovel out of here. I don't just have... Okay, yeah, the next space is not removals. I'm on the verge of removing another Sanguine Assistant. Not going to do it, but I will remove the other Perils of Production that I don't need anymore now that I have 1 holdover. And also just as much energy as we keep getting. Right. Celestial Alcove is offering us 3 minion upgrades, including Titan's Titan Skin 5. Oh boy. I'm really not good at dealing with the silence units. Savage Spirit, gain 2 damage for each additional hitting health. I mean, it's you take the Titan Shield here, and you put it on Shadow Eater, who now just can't die. Halve the damage and then take 5 less. All instances of damage 10 or less do 0 damage. He's a little bit of a nightmare at the moment. We'll find our way. I've got 2 more areas to find our silence. Merchant of Magic Empyrean Well. Loots after this boss. Because if they can silence my bottom line, then they can just walk past. That's it, they have another line to catch them. Perhaps that will be enough. I mean, Dominion's Eye, then Savage Shackles, and I get to play my makeshift golem. Whoa. Perils of Production hits the bottom line. Everyone down there is comfy. Forevermore Serum, we'll get Plague Doctor in position. Combustion Suit for the multi-striker, please. We'll daze the boss. And let's get some additional damage and health on the Umbra. Bottom line's doing especially well down there. I'm going to drop a engine upgrade and then just Prismal Dust for 5, healing up higher back to full. I'm going to play Prismal Retrieval on the -1 cost floor. Still managing to draw the makeshift golem and play it. Second hook hand also doesn't really get played. Start building up sap, I think. I want Sanguine Assistant to be played, and I want Sanguine Assistant to die, but unfortunately, if it's the first card I played this turn, it gets so much damage shield that it just doesn't die for a while. Oh, what a burden! What a burden you are! Just die already! I guess I can use Brain Transfer in the next hand to do that. Did I not get Brain Transfer? Oh, you... How dare you? Well, now I can't use my Replicator Ray on the right unit, because the Brain Transfer's not done yet. 40 corruption on the boss is already pretty much a death sentence, though. Replicator Ray is back, as well as the brain transfer. Oh my gosh. So we'll sack you, gaining Vampire Tooth. Then we'll remove the Vampire Tooth and dupe the Penumbra. Oh, yes. That's what we wanted to see. All's looking swell so far. I'm gonna just... yeah, I'm just gonna eat a bunch on the bottom floor. So they all die before the turn starts. This line can be played for free, and so can Prismal Dust on this line. I couldn't possibly guess what will end up ending this run, but I do weirdly feel like I'm gonna die in the Seraph fight. So it's 250 on the final of Penumbra's line, right? Your monstrous line gets 250. Yep, 250 damage, 120 health. I think it's going to come down to whether or not I can quickly replicate array it, which itself is a little bit of a hard proposition. I definitely need draw. No two questions about that. Second brain transfer. I'm only going to be able to fit one Sanguine Assistant on the top line. Wherever consumed, 40x damage to the front enemy unit. Realistically, decent damage to the front enemy unit. Okay. Equipped units attack immediately, mines of their own. I got a couple mines, but I don't think I have enough equipment to really super care about that. I think it's either Forevermore consumed for trying to deal with the 500 health units. 2 500s in a row, rather. Or Brain Transfer to have consistency on being able to kill my own units when it's relevant, including makeshift golems in the midline as well as Sanguine Assistants on top. Merchant of Magic was part of the bargain we made. Double stack, you say? Yeah. It's fine. Monstrous 3! Plus 10 magic power, not relevant to anything. -2 cost and consume? The brain transfers should absolutely be that. I didn't know they weren't consumed by default. Give double stack to something. I can't really argue that this is particularly impactful for us. I'm gonna reroll here. Intrinsic is important. So Intrinsic is the ability to get the additional Ember from the very first turn. It's the ability to get Prism Retrieval played on the very first turn. It's... I mean, the bottom line... I mean, I could get Heralds of Production ready from the very first turn, but that's less relevant. I can't guarantee that I will have a Assistant in the opening hand ready to be sacrificed by Brain Transfer, so I'm not enthused about that, but Prism Retrieval could do that for us. I can also give holdover and -1 cost to something. Holdover and -1 cost to Mixology is just mix twice a turn. On the midline, we do it for free even. Is mixing particularly important to us? It can be handy. It's a very versatile tool. Is it worth a holdover card, though? That's every turn I'm drawing that. I think so. I think Mixology is probably my best access right now, and this is terrifyingly sad. But I think it's currently the best access I have to being able to generate a spell that can kill the minion. The health minion. The minion with... Oh, what's it? It has a name? Hymnist. The silence hymnist. Dupe the powerful meat hook for the second hand. That corruption certainly matters. Another copy of Prism Retrieval is actually also really important because it gives us the ability to fetch additional units on turn 1, and I have space for them. Actually, Prism Retrieval is sick as hell. Because it's intrinsic, so it doesn't even count towards the cost of my opening hand, but it does give me the ability to fish out the units that I haven't been able to play yet. -1 energy per turn is not too bad for us. There are Rage Wings on the bottom line, so we're going to have to worry about that, so I should... start with Sound Shackle. I should make sure that Morsel Master gets the additional defense by being summoned. Then let's drop a Shadow Eater there. Next line needs its Meat Hook. Top line needs Penumbra. I want Makeshift Golem down as well. I can summon Morsel Maker in the middle of the fight. And I can summon additional morsels on the bottom line in the meantime. I'm going to drop Savage Shackles. Give the Combustion Suit to the unit that's going to need it. Then It's Alive on the only unit that can really accept it. Then Prism Retrieval to get a 2-cost unit for free. Then Prism Retrieval to get another unit. It's not a 2-cost, but it is free. Plague Doctor go there. And then Makeshift Golem go there. Two energy this turn is hurt. It's because I drew Dominion's Eye, non-Scourge, non-Black cards, and Handcuffs +1, as well as the Morsel Maker at the same time, I can't even play it right now, which is going to mean our AoE on the bottom line is really, really bad. Thankfully, our midline is very healthy, but that's not going to be the case for very long. Blade Dominion's Eye out. I'm going to use Brain Transfer to sack Makeshift Golem on the midline, giving us some additional space to work with. I'm going to use Mixology on the midline as well. Let's see if I can pick up some spikes. 3. If I can pick up another set of spikes, I can get the Ragewing Assassins to die when they hit Shadow Eater. I can use Prismal Dust for 2 damage shield on that line, or I can use it for 1 damage shield on the bottom line. I think the 1 damage shield on the bottom line is probably more important at the moment. I finally got my barrels of production. Oh, thankfully, I've also got Grovel. Okay, we're gonna start getting morsels now. Yay. Yay and woohoo. Unfortunately, we haven't got equipment on Umbra yet. Mixology for spikes, and I suppose some additional regen. We'll pop that now happily. You've got enough spikes to kill the units that are relevant. Give another reanimate to the makeshift golem. Replicator Ray just stays in our back pocket for the moment. The 2 500 health units are ascending through our line. Ugh, I'm gonna need my brain transfer pretty soon. Oh boy, those Rage Wings are gonna be killing the Morsel Master on the bottom line, unfortunately. That was just eventually gonna happen. I like Mixology here. Actually, Blast Infusion, does your first do 6 damage or 4 damage? I don't know. I'm gonna check. Damn it, it's 4 damage. If that did 1 more damage, I could take out the Ragewing Assassins on the bottom line all at the moment. It needs to do 1 more damage for that to be viable. Cool. I can gain some additional rage from that bottom line then instead. I could give it big damage shield right now. I can't believe this is the bottom of my deck, by the way. Double Sanguine Assistant Brain Transfer. Literally everything I've needed for the top line for ages. It's just the bottom of my deck. I'm not mad about it. I'm not. You're mad. Let's drop a big old Prismal Dust on the top line for a bunch of damage shield, please. Sanguine Assistant, go top line. Sanguine Assistant, get Perils of Production. Oh no, it'll pass its Ember Drain as well. But it'll also pass some Rage. I'm gonna have that Ember Drain either way. Piece of equipment! Woo! The Avowed Gladiator is unfortunately gonna make it to the top line. This Blast Infusion is now capable of taking out the Ragewing Assassins on the bottom line. Let's get another piece of equipment out of it as well. I'm gonna hold on to this infusion. I can heal that. Mixology for more direct damage. Let's get some Frostbite, I guess. It's alive. Not on that floor, though. Okay. Let's replicate array our top. Keep It's alive. And I'll drop the Blast Infusion to start the Frostbite on that frontline unit as well. I think our top lane has enough to kill both. Welcome, Rax, to the bottom line. Unfortunately, we have 0 Ember that I can play this turn. That's Ember Drain and 2 Scourges in your deck that make everything in your hand cost more for you. As well as -1 Pyre per turn from the Pyre Dampener, all stacked atop one another. I suspect our mid line is going to do pretty well for us. Excuse me? I mean, dazing the boss is certainly worth it so that I can actually start stacking impacts. Let's get some lifesteal so that you can try and save additional health. One of the terrifying amalgams is going to make it to the top line. I'm pretty... can I please stop drawing exclusively my Scourges as well? That'd be nice. I guess I don't have many cards in the deck. Like, we have 33 actual cards, but, like, most of them are on the battlefield or consumed by this point. Yeah, this is exactly the kind of thing I was worried about. Getting to this point and then losing. Sap. Sap. I could get Lifesteal 1, but I literally won't even be able to kill a target. So you go... You're dazed this turn. You attack. I get 500 damage in. You respond by killing Umbra. You're doing about 160 damage there. Do I have a way of even stopping that? Like, definitely not Brain Transfer. That's not part of this turn. It's just whether or not, like, the lifesteal would make any significant... It wouldn't. Not to either of you. So the only thing that can make a significant difference here is digging for more. And I'll give you melee weakness as well as sap. Just short of being able to kill him. Nightmare. That's what I get for trying to fight you on the top floor. Then you go up there, and as long as I can survive the first 250 damage you do to my pyre, we're A-okay. I knew something like that was coming. I knew something like that was coming my way. I will say, losing the Ember on that final fight, specifically choosing to lose the Ember on that final fight, and not immediately summoning the second Morsel Maker on the bottom line, that was a bit tough. But admittedly, the second Morsel Maker would have died pretty early. Like, this and Morsel Master both on the bottom floor would have died pretty early to the Rage Wings. What we were really seeing there is that our AoE on the bottom line was exceptionally vulnerable to enemies that were faster than me, and I had no response for it. Despite constantly saying that I'm looking for something to deal with silence in the backline, which would have been exactly the same kind of thing. We tried to rectify that a little bit with the mixology, but it was too little too late. Other than that, everything was going pretty well. It was realistically that bottom line imploding that then made all of our things a bit too costly to work with. Also, I will say, drawing Savage Shackles and Dominion's Eye in the same hand relatively consistently at the end because of the size of the deck was pretty dangerous. Left us in a position where our units were pretty difficult. The non-Scourge, non-Blight cards were pretty difficult to play as well. With an additional energy, do I think we could have made it through that fight? Considering how close it was at the very end, yeah, I do think so. I think an additional energy would have been enough to eke out enough additional value to get through that fight. I think it's kind of hard to tell that that was going to be the case, though, especially considering, as I say, the bottom line's vulnerability to the Rage Wings. I will, however, add, Prism Retrieval, just with an intrinsic on it, incredible performance by this card. Just fishes out 2 additional units, especially in this clan combination where you often have non-banning units that you really do want to draw quite early. Incredible work, Prism Retrieval. Final thing to mention is that Sanguine Assistance and the Brain Transfer turning up earlier for the top floor also would have completely changed that final fight. Can't really change how that happens, though. That was what these were for, but unfortunately they fished the wrong minions. Alas. Unfortunately, that doesn't show us a battle cutscene after the end as well, so they're going to add injury to insult. You're not even going to show me a fun little cutscene? For the moment, my name has been Rhapsody. We'll probably head back into the Dimensional Portal in the next episode. A special thanks this episode to Nick Starfield. Hopefully you all have been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you all next time.